Sci Fi Crate, and I'm going to show you how to create some alpha maps for ZBrush so we can use and detail our objects. So I'm going to create a couple of these. I'm going to go to New, and we're going to go pixels 1024 by 1024, and we can rename these later. We're going to start with a white background, which is going to pull up. Black is going to push down. So let's go ahead and do that black background color. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to create a couple of these. So I'm going to create some layers. Okay, so the first layer is going to be something that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and pull these out. I'm going to make a button, really quick button, and I'm going to use elliptical. I'm going to hold down the Shift key. If you don't have these rulers, you can just go to View, click on Rulers here, just highlight that. Okay, now I'm going to hold down the Shift key and get that to the corner and bring that down. You can see when it will tell you when you hit it, the center right there. There, you stop. And then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a medium gray, like that. Click OK. And I'm going to do a stroke, so go to Image or Edit Stroke, and we're going to go something pretty thick. We're going to go with 12 pixels, that color. We're going to do on the inside. There we go, so you can see that nice line right there. And so we're going to do another, I'm going to go into probably 3 here, and go to 3 down this way. And we're going to go into the circle again, go to Select, Deselect. And we want that to go kind of in the middle again. And hold the Shift key down and roll that out. Okay, we're real close right there. And we're going to make that solid. So we're going to fill that in. So with a gray, there we go. Select, deselect. And then we're going to go in here and add some detail to this piece. So, and this is just up to your imagination. I'm going to continue this. So now I'm going to go in here and select this area right here. Hold the Shift key down and get it as close as I can. You can see that I matched up right there, so I stop right there. So this one I'm going to push in a little bit, so I'm going to go with a little darker gray, like that, and fill. There we go. And you select, deselect. And so it's kind of going up, out, and I'm probably going to fill this area in here probably with a darker gray. So I'm going to go pretty dark in here and fill that in. Okay. So it's going to go up, in, up again, and then down a little bit here. And then you can add some detail in here if you'd wish. So I'm going to go in here and kind of go to the center if I can, find the center. Let's see if I can find the center. There we go. And then add lines in here. So I'm going to go in here and just, whoops. me add, I'll do a rectangle and see if I can do a single line, and then we'll do really dark black. That'll push it in quite a ways. And do a stroke. Let's try that again. This time it'll be on the outside. There we go. Perfect. Select, deselect. Okay, so there's my dial and my pin. And of course you can do anything you want with this. I can probably go in here and even detail that even more than it is. But with that done, I'm going to go ahead and go to clear guides. There we go, so we can see it. Go to filter and go to blur and Gaussian blur, and do a blur radius of 2. There we go. And go ahead and save as. I'm going to save this in my source images on my disk, and I want to save this as a PSD first. So create detail 01, save this, and then I want to do file. I have to wait a little bit. It takes a while for it to save to my external hard drive, and then I'm going to go to file, save as. This time I'm going to do a targa, or excuse me, actually Photoshop will work fine, but I'll do a JPEG, create detail 1, save that. There we go. Sounds good. Right now we can go in here to go to the second layer, and I'm going to do a couple things here. I'm going to break this up so I can have a pretty good understanding of the center, and I just kind of add some detail. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and add a cube here. Over to 13. There we go. I'm going to add to this some more details here. And have a little more space here. Add details to this. There we go. And with this we can go in here and fill these in with a gray. There we go. And select, deselect, and then I can go in here and add whatever I'd like. I mean, as far as details go with that, this will add a little more resolution and kind of break things up a little bit more. And some other things you can probably do is we got these panels. You can actually cut out of the panels too as well. So if I do something like this, and I'm just kind of winging it here, go in here and then I go to this tool here, I can actually hold the Alt key and deselect. So I'm going to kind of cut across here and go, and that will take that out, and that's a fast way of creating some interesting functionality that you can see kind of what's happening there. And then I could go into a little darker color like that, and then go and stroke it. That add that nice little detail there. And you can see you can continue to add in stuff like this into it, and continue making it more detailed and detailed. And you just have to spend time with it. So I can go in here and continue to add to this if I want to. And go to that detail and go in here to stroke. And we're going to do inside this time. I'm going to go half this to 6 and click OK. And select deselect. So you can see that we're getting some pretty interesting detail in here out of this. And if I don't like this cube, the way that looks, I can kind of cut that like this. And I'm going to add to this. And I can either erase that or whatever I want to do. So now I've got, and I kind of got that janky. So I'll do that again. Let's just get that. Whoops. Come on now. Right. I'll try that again. There we go. That's no good. Well, I'm going to screw this up real good. Hold on a minute. There we go. That's a little better. That's better. Okay. Alright, so that's a little better. Anyway, you can perfect it. So add stuff like this and continue in it. We're going to go ahead and save these two so you can kind of get an idea what we can do with this stuff. You can flip these alphas around and use them any way you want. This top one is a little more interesting than these two, obviously. So let's get rid of this stuff here real quick by erasing it. I really don't like that. Or this. Okay, let's go ahead and do a filter on this as a Gaussian blur. There we go. And then file, save as. I'm going to do number 2, PSD. There we go. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and bring our crate into a ZBrush. And let's try these new alpha maps that we created onto the surface of the crate, see if it looks good. And then of course you can take export the high poly out. So I'm going to go ahead and import my mesh from my disk. Sci Fi Crate scenes and my crate export. Okay, draw that out. Okay, and hit the T key, rotate, and I'm going to hold the shift key down so I can kind of, whoops, get it centered. I'm going to frame that. There we go. So that's all framed, ready to go. Okay, so we'll have to come, I suppose I can go ahead and ram through this. This is about 14 minutes right now, so we'll go quickly. Alright, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to geometry, open that up, and hit divide. So we're going to divide this up quite a bit. And we're going to watch our polygon count up here. And I'm going to keep going. We're at 3, and now I'm at 800,000. And I'm going to divide one more time. And we're at 3.5 million. That's about right. and that's a lot of polygons. And I'm going to click on alpha, and of course open up import my object. So go back in here, go to Sci Fi Crate, and I believe I placed it, alpha maps are in source images, and there it is. So let's do crate detail 2, open that up, and there's my crate detail 2s right there. And we're going to go click on stroke and go to drag select, and let's take a look and see how that looks on my object. Okay, so Control Z. Let's start right in the center and pull this out. Okay. There we go. And it's not as big as I wanted, so I'm going to Control Z again. I'm going to start from down here in the center. Pull that out. There, it's a little better, and I'll hold the Shift key down to get it looking better. There, see? Looks pretty good. You can see I got that nice little detail in there. And I'll do the same thing. Let's go hold the Shift key down right there. And start down here. But in the center. Pull that out. Hold the Shift key. And I didn't quite get that one right. I'll try it down a little bit lower. There we go. Hold the Shift key. That's pretty close. Okay. You get the idea, and I'm going to go from the bottom down this way, upside down. Do that one. Yeah, I didn't do that one very good. That one very good. There we go. I think we got it. Okay. Alright, so you get the idea. So you can add some really cool detail to your scene. I'm going to hit perspective. I click on dynamic perspective, so that makes it look a little bit nicer. I'm going to hit frame. There we go. I can rotate around. And so you can continue doing that. I've got one of the other ones that I've got. Let's go ahead and load that and see how that looks. I'll create detail 1. Okay, that gives me that little button. That's kind of cool. Let's see what that looks like. And go from the center. I'm going to put that in here. And that's kind of cool. Look at that. That turned out real nice. I like that. Okay, one right there. And one right here. And then, whoops, rotate on the side. Hold the Shift key. Frame that. There we go. And I suppose I could probably put a couple on top. Right here. And right here. Alright. Now you see the resolution on here isn't quite as high as we probably want, even at 3.5 million polygons. That resolution has a lot to do with how it's seeing that object. And I thought I blurred it, but you can see that it's kind of acting weird. So I'm wondering if it's because of the resolution, or that I did not filter that enough. That blur helps with that, the Gaussian blur. So I might want to go back and check that out. But for now, that's kind of how you would detail your Sci Fi Crate. You have to spend the time to create the alpha maps and see what you come up with. It's actually pretty fun, and take the time to experiment a little bit. Anyway, so that's and then what you do is when you're finished, you can export the model. And you probably, I don't want to export it to my disk, my flash drive, because it's too slow. I'm going to go to my desktop and do create export ZBrush and put _high poly, so you know that's really super high poly, and click as a save. Your flash drive, it's going to take a long time for it to save out.